Something unusual is happening in the world right now. Something that feels familiar, yet completely new. The United States, the world's most powerful country, is quietly circling back to a partner it has known for decades. A partner it trusts, depends on, and turns to when global stability starts shaking. And people are asking the same question. Why is the United States suddenly calling the United Kingdom its most important ally again? To understand that, you have to picture the world as it is today. Russian aggression testing Europe's borders. Tension building across the Indo-Pacific. A new chapter of US politics beginning with Donald Trump's return to the White House. NATO debating its purpose and priorities. And beneath the oceans, far from cameras, AUKUS submarines slowly taking shape, symbolizing a level of cooperation between the UK, the US, and Australia that would have been unthinkable 20 years ago. This isn't nostalgia. This isn't sentiment. This is geopolitics. This is survival. This is a world order being rewritten in real time. But to understand why the UK matters so much to Washington now, we need to go back to the beginning, back to when the special relationship wasn't a catchphrase, but a lifeline. During World War II, Winston Churchill and Franklin Roosevelt didn't just become allies. They built an alliance so tightly woven that it reshaped how two nations share intelligence, technology, and military power. When the war ended, that structure didn't disappear. It evolved. Together, the UK and US built shared nuclear programs, joint military bases, and a diplomatic partnership that spread across the globe. Across the Cold War, the two countries stood side by side, sometimes arguing, sometimes disagreeing, but consistently aligned on the world's biggest challenges. That's why the special relationship wasn't simply political theater. It had substance, real intelligence, real cooperation, real consequences. Fast forward to the 21st century, and the world changed. New powers rose, new threats emerged, Brexit reshaped Britain's identity, American politics became more polarized, and for a moment, the US-UK relationship looked less like a strategic engine and more like a historical artifact. And then came 2025. Trump returned to the presidency on a platform demanding more from America's allies. NATO found itself under renewed pressure, Europe faced divisions over defense spending and foreign policy, and in that environment, Washington looked toward partners that could deliver not just promises, but capability. Suddenly, the UK mattered again. Not symbolically, but practically. At the same time, Britain released its 2025 Strategic Defense Review, a major document that essentially reset the entire direction of UK national security. It emphasized a NATO-first posture, pushed for higher readiness forces, and accelerated investment into modern capabilities. Cyber warfare units, artificial intelligence systems, drone swarms, enhanced air defense, nuclear modernization, and a clear focus on operating seamlessly with the United States. Even more telling, the review emphasized interoperability, not with Europe, not with Asia, but explicitly with American systems and US-led coalitions. It was a clear signal that London was doubling down on the transatlantic alliance. So, why Washington? Why the UK? Because the US needs allies it can genuinely trust, not just economically, not just diplomatically, but militarily, in real operations, in real crises, under real pressure. And the UK brings something unique to the table: a world-class navy, high-end air power, a professional expeditionary army, and nuclear capabilities built in deep cooperation with the United States. British forces train with American forces almost constantly. From the Arctic to the Middle East to the Pacific, their doctrines, communication systems, and equipment are designed to plug directly into US-led operations. But the deepest connection is one most people never see: the intelligence relationship. The United States and the United Kingdom are the backbone of the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, along with Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Together, they share signals intelligence across continents, monitor global threats, track cyber activity, and conduct joint counterterror operations. Much of this work is classified, undocumented in public records, but widely acknowledged by governments and analysts. What is clear is this: no country receives American intelligence at the level the UK does. No country shares more back, and no country is more embedded in US intelligence infrastructure. This alone creates a level of strategic trust that is nearly impossible for any other ally to replicate. Then comes defense technology, an area where the UK is uniquely tied to the United States. The two nations jointly develop nuclear submarines. They share missile technology under agreements that have existed for decades. Their scientists collaborate on radar systems, cyber tools, and battlefield AI. And they are the core of the AUKUS Pact, a long-term partnership aimed at maintaining stability in the Indo-Pacific. AUKUS is not just a submarine program. It represents a vision of the future, one where the UK operates as a global power again, projecting influence not only in Europe, but across the world's most important strategic theater. This raises a crucial point. The UK is no longer just America's European ally. It is becoming a global one. In NATO, the UK stands out as one of the few countries consistently meeting spending commitments and fielding forces that can deploy quickly. When the US organizes major NATO exercises, the UK is almost always its closest partner. When Washington looks for an ally capable of leading multinational operations, the UK is one of the first names on the list. From Baltic air policing to anti-terror operations in the Middle East, from joint naval deployments in the Indo-Pacific to coordination on Ukraine, the partnership isn't theoretical. It's lived out in real operations, in real time. But there's another dimension: politics. Trump's return brings uncertainty. Will the US remain fully committed to NATO? Will it prioritize bilateral deals over alliance structures? Will it lean closer to the UK or move unpredictably? London understands this uncertainty, and its strategy reflects that understanding. The UK wants to be indispensable. It wants to be the ally Washington cannot walk away from, and the partner that provides intelligence, technology, capabilities, and diplomatic weight that no other nation can replicate. Britain is increasing defense spending, modernizing its nuclear force, and expanding its global deployments because it knows that reliability is power. America values partners that bring real assets to the table, not just rhetoric. Inside the UK, the debate is intense. Some believe Britain should strengthen ties with Europe and deepen cooperation with France and Germany. Others argue that the Atlantic Alliance is the foundation of British security, and that distancing from the US would be a strategic mistake. And then there are those who believe the UK must balance both sides, rebuilding trust with Europe while maintaining deep integration with the US. Prime Minister Keir Starmer is attempting exactly that, repairing European relations while strengthening transatlantic ties. But rising global tensions continue pulling London closer to Washington. Experts warn, however, that the relationship, despite being strong, is under stress. Reports from the Coalition for Global Prosperity, RAND, and UK defense institutions highlight concerns about political volatility in the US, lingering capability gaps in the UK, and the challenges of rising authoritarian powers. Some analysts argue the relationship faces its greatest strain since the Second World War, not because trust is fading, but because the world is becoming more dangerous. And yet, in response, the UK is not stepping back. It is stepping forward. Britain is increasing defense budgets, expanding cyber units, modernizing its nuclear deterrent, and taking a leading role in Europe's response to Russian aggression. It is pushing deeper into AUKUS, investing in new technology programs, and quietly expanding its diplomatic reach. What's often overlooked is the economic dimension. The US and UK remain among each other's largest trade and investment partners. Their financial markets are deeply connected. Their universities and research institutes collaborate on some of the world's most advanced scientific projects. And the tech ties, especially in AI, quantum computing, and space, are becoming more important with each passing year. When you put all of this together, the picture becomes clear. The reason the UK is becoming America's most important ally again isn't because of history. It's because of trust. It's because, in a world sliding into uncertainty, the fundamentals of the special relationship, intelligence, technology, defense, diplomacy are more valuable than ever. The US has many partners, but very few allies who can fight, innovate, share intelligence, and lead alongside it. The UK is one of those rare nations, and that makes it indispensable. The special relationship isn't about nostalgia. It isn't about Churchill or Roosevelt. It's about the future of NATO, the future of the Indo-Pacific, the future of democratic alliances in a shifting world. So how did the UK become America's most important ally again? Through unmatched intelligence cooperation, through shared nuclear and defense technology, through leadership in NATO, through its central role in AUKUS, through diplomatic alignment across the G7 and G20, through a military built to operate alongside the United States, and through a shared worldview about democracy, security, and the future of global stability. The two countries don't always agree. They argue, they shift direction, they change leaders. But when the world becomes dangerous, when threats rise, when alliances shake, when stability is at risk, they move closer. And in a world where alliances can crumble overnight, where global threats accelerate faster than diplomacy can keep up, the UK and the US are rediscovering why their partnership shaped the last century and why it may decide the next one.